Welcome back to another explainer. All right, so today we're tackling something I know keeps a lot of you up at night. If you're a corporate leader, you know the drill, right? The pressure is absolutely on. You're laser focused on project ROI, and you're trying to figure out how to weave AI into your workflows to actually drive measurable value. Not just hype, but real value. But here's the thing, the stakes just got exponentially higher. Why? Because we have officially entered the agentic AI era. We aren't just dealing with AI that sits there passively generating text anymore. Nope. We're dealing with systems that take autonomous actions. They do things on their own. And with agent-based AI, the risk of failure and, the threat to your ROI, it multiplies big time. So today we're going to look really closely at the stark dividing line between a massive AI success and total project failure. And it all comes down to a singular, incredibly powerful axiom. It's basically a safeguard against the chaotic nature of agentic AI, and it changes how we view deployment from the ground up.
But before we get to the solution, we kind of have to acknowledge the reality on the ground right now. Think about the sheer frustration so many professionals are facing when trying to integrate these systems. You do all the hard work, you secure the budget, you bring in this top-tier, shiny new tech, your teams map out the integration, and obviously you expect a massive return on investment. Yet, time and time again, what happens? These implementations just stall out in the pilot phase, or they completely fail to adapt to your specific company workflows. It is incredibly frustrating. It's honestly like buying the most expensive, state-of-the-art sports car engine in the world, dropping it into a chassis, and then realizing the car still won't move. So what exactly is going wrong here? Well, we have to look past the shiny new technology and look at the groundwork, and that groundwork relies entirely on a framework known as ROB.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the missing foundation. So imagine you're trying to build a massive skyscraper. You can have the absolute best glass, the strongest steel, the most brilliant architects in the world, but if you haven't poured a solid concrete foundation, that building's going to collapse under its own weight. Period. In the rush to adopt AI and capture that ROI, businesses are totally forgetting to pour the concrete. Listen to this stark, definitive quote directly from our source material. Most AI implementations never start with ROB. That is why they fail. Let that sink in for a second. The sheer absence of this foundational element is the absolute root cause of these corporate failures. So what exactly is ROB? It's an acronym. It stands for roles, objectives, and boundaries. Think of roles as the job description, right? Like who is doing what? Objectives are the target. What exactly are we aiming to hit? And boundaries are the guardrails. What is absolutely off limits? Let's take a customer service bot, for example. Without ROB, an agentic AI might try to resolve a super angry customer's complaint by offering a massive unauthorized 50% discount. It took an autonomous action, sure, but it completely tanked your profit margins. With ROB in place, though, the role is clearly defined as a Tier 1 support agent. The objective is to resolve the query within 5 minutes, and the boundary explicitly states it literally cannot authorize any discounts over 10%. Boom, the foundation secures the action.
And this brilliantly illustrates that contrast. When you build an AI system without ROB, you are literally building on sand. It's the fast track to wasted ROI, frustrated employees, stalled innovation, and completely unpredictable agentic actions. It just leads to undeniable failure. But when you establish AI with ROB, you create that missing foundation for success. The entire trajectory of your project changes. It becomes the anchor that secures your investment in this wild agentic AI era. And the best part? Securing this anchor doesn't require some massive 6-month consulting contract. Actually, scratch that. It doesn't even take a week. You can establish this foundation in just 15 minutes by following 5 distinct steps. Ready? Step 1. Name the agent and define its exact persona. Step 2. Write down the single primary goal it absolutely must achieve. Step 3. List the specific tools or databases it is allowed to access. Step 4. Define the escalation trigger, like exactly when must it hand off the conversation to a human. And Step 5. Run a quick stress test scenario just to ensure those boundaries actually hold firm. In just 15 minutes, you go from a chaotic science experiment to a structured, highly deployable asset.
Now let's wrap this up with a final thought, which really serves as a challenge for you moving forward. Look closely at your own organization's current or upcoming AI implementations. Are you just chasing the technology, or are you actually building the groundwork? I want to challenge you to ask yourself and your teams, have we started with ROB? I highly encourage you to take that 15-minute challenge. Establish your roles, objectives, and boundaries before your very next deployment. Because if you're skipping the foundation, the ROI you're desperately looking for, it's going to remain entirely out of reach. Make sure your groundwork is set before you build. Well, that is it for today's explainer. If you found this information helpful, please like, subscribe, and share AI for the rest of us on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one.